Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Um, I don't know with what should I start with. I'm following my excitement.
Yes.
I'm good with taking care of other people and children, and that is what I'm doing. And
All right.
And I see that life sustains me in a very beautiful way.
Yes.
Allows me to travel and do the other stuff I always wanted to do.
Yes.
Things
All right.
that
Well, congratulations.
things that other people, they think that they need the money and get the money to do
Correct.
that, but I'm doing what I love, and
Exactly.
I get in return.
All right. Well, thank you for your statement.
But
But I am following my passion and
It's
living
just-
my dreams.
no, it's just so.
But
It's just so crazy. Like, I just feel I don't know where everything will lead. Like, nothing makes sense. Like,
what do you mean nothing makes sense?
it's just I'm taking care of children, and I'm traveling and hiking. And
Why doesn't that make sense?
I don't know where everything will lead or what is about
Why
life.
do you need to know where it will lead? Since it's already led you to places that you're enjoying, why wouldn't you assume it'll still lead you to places that you will enjoy even if you don't know what that is right now? Why do you need to know the specifics?
Yeah, that is the...
Yeah. Why does it need to make sense?
Because
Because
sometimes
what?
it's getting like kind of terrifying, like, and people say, okay, like, what are you gonna do now? Or
Oh, so what
is
you're
the next
saying
step?
is,
What
what
is-
you're saying is, you are leaving your state of excitement and buying into the fears of other people. Why? Why does that have anything to do with you?
Because we are surrounded all the time by people.
So what? Why
And
does that
it's
have
so-
anything to do with you?
it's
You're
so-
surrounded by furniture. Are you going to turn into a chair?
No, but it's so difficult to stay just yourself all
That's
the
a
time.
belief. It is not difficult to be yourself. You only believe that it is, and so you experience it that way. There is no such thing as an inherently difficult circumstance. No such thing. Your belief that it is difficult allows you to experience it as difficult. Nothing has built-in experience. You give it the experience by the definition you give it. So when you say, well, it's difficult because I'm always surrounded, all you're saying is, I have bought into a belief system I'm not enjoying. Why? It's not true. It's not a fact. Remember when we said there are only 5 facts? Everything else is a belief, an opinion, and a perspective?
Yes.
So when someone says, well, everyone knows it's difficult, it's not a fact. You're making it a fact by believing it to be a fact. It's not a fact. You don't have to believe it. When someone says, everyone knows that's difficult, you can say, I don't know that. So I guess everyone doesn't know that. So that's not true then for everyone. Might be true for you, might be true for him, might be true for her. It's not true for me. You get to say what is true for you.
That's true.
I know.
And by following my excitement and just flying sometimes by seat of my pants, people say, oh, she's crazy. Like,
What's wrong with being crazy?
it's just,
What's wrong with being crazy? There is negative crazy, but there's also positive crazy. Positive crazy are the things that we were talking about before, where you have people that express genius. That's positive crazy. How could someone like your Einstein completely revolutionize your understanding of the cosmos if he wasn't crazy enough to follow his dream and demonstrate that things weren't what people thought they were? You have to be crazy in the sense that you have to break from the status quo. If breaking from the status quo is crazy, that's okay if it's positive crazy. It will always lead to something magnificent, something unexpected and beautiful. So don't just assume that just because you're using the word crazy that that's a negative thing. You have to define it as negative to experience crazy in a negative way. But if you experience it and define it in a positive way, that's what you will have. A positively crazy life. And you'll love it. Every moment of it, every crazy moment of it.
and you find the other people who will join you
So what?
eventually.
Yeah, they'll join you, or they won't, but it doesn't matter. It won't matter. It can be your own journey, but generally speaking, if you're crazy in a good way, you will find other good crazy people who will join you. And then before you know it, the entire world will be good crazy.
Yeah.
Yes?
Another question. You said at some point that reality is just an illusion, but
It's a projection, it's a reflection.
but the experience
Is real.
is real. So that is what we just have to do here on Earth, just be ourselves and just go through everything and experience everything, whatever comes our way,
And
and
learn
take
from
it.
it. Yes, learn who you are. Remember who you are. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's why when you're on your own, you just discover new things about yourself because you are doing things you never thought
Yes.
you're gonna do, and
Yes. Isn't that fun?
it's awesome.
Then there you go. What more needs to be said? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And you good day.
I have a couple of clarifications, I would say,
Oh, all right.
a concept.
Yes.
You said that we actually traveled from parallel reality to parallel reality to experience.
Yes. To create the idea of time. It's like you're going through different frames on a film strip.
So my question would be, is time traveling possible?
Not in the way that you understand it from the science fiction perspective, no. Because everything already exists at once. So the idea is that when you experience what you might call time travel, you're not actually going into your past or your future. You're going into an alternate, already existing parallel reality that, relative to what you think of as the past and the future, simply looks that way. But you're not actually interacting in your timeline, because you've already been in that frame. And if you were the only one in that frame, then your so-called future self can't join that frame. That's a different frame.
Oh, so
Is that clear?
yeah. Let me try to explain it a different way.
Yes.
So we're not creating anything. I mean,
Well, what do you mean? Yes.
Everything exists.
But you're
and we
creating
travel
your
through-
experience of it. The structure never changes. That is what exists. Your experience and perspective of the structure always changes. That's what's changing. That's what expands creation, is your experience of the structure that never changes, because you're constantly looking at it from a different point of view.
So creation is based on our own experiences, individual experiences.
Yes.
Okay.
Existence is not, but creation is.
Okay, that's pretty.
Is that clear?
Yeah, because you always have the tendency to think in the rest of the people or the humanity as a whole.
Yes.
But now I understand that we have to focus in our own
Yes.
point of view.
Well, you can go back to the film strip analogy. The film strip exists. All the frames exist all at once. But you can play them through the projector backwards, forwards, sideways, left, right, cut up the frames and rearrange them entirely. You can have the experience of the film strip any way you want to, but the film strip exists as it exists.
So there is, for instance, and you find in the web or whatever, YouTube, the stories of people that have been in a year, or whatever, 2,000, 3,000 or whatever. What they experience is their own experiences, is whatever they saw in that future is their own experience,
Yes.
particular experience.
Well, yes, again, as you create different states of being within yourself, you are shifting through different kinds of frames and film strips in a way that charts a course, taking its cue from your state of being as to what particular parallel reality experience is relevant for the state of being that you're giving off. So you're constantly shifting and winding up having experiences that are always going to be reflective of the state of being you're giving off.
So the experience that the person that travels in the future had is not the same experience that the people that are listening to his story of traveling to that specific time is going to be the same for them.
Not necessarily, no. It might be similar enough that you believe you're sharing the same reality, but that's what you're doing right now. You're all in your own reality, creating a collective agreement that you will be in a reality that looks so similar to someone else's that you will believe, and you're capable of believing, that you actually exist in the same reality when you don't.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
I have a different question.
Yes.
I've noticed that most of the channeling phenomena
Yes.
is happening in the United States. So I'm from
That's not true.
well,
You're just
most
aware
of
of it. That's
Well,
all.
yeah, I come from South America, so
Yes.
not in the same.
It's not the same expression, but
Not
that
in the
doesn't
same-
mean you're not channeling. Remember, channeling is a natural state. All of you can do it, and all of you do it. When you're doing what you love to do, when you're not paying attention to the idea of time, when everything seems so focused, when you are creating and flowing without effort, you're in a channeling state. Doesn't mean you have to be connecting to other intelligence to do it. You can be connecting to more of your own intelligence. It's still a channeling state. And in your brain, it's represented by what's called the gamma frequency, which is between 40 and 100 cycles per second. That's the channeling state.
Yeah, I understand.
All of you do it.
What I'm trying to say is that, of course, from my perception now that I live in the United States and I'm from South America, I've seen a more broad channelers, bringing awareness,
Yes.
not as much as in South America.
Not in the same way, no.
Oh, okay, but still it's happening anyway.
Of course it is.
Okay.
You just call it different things and experience it in different ways. That's all. It doesn't have to be this form.
Okay. So is somebody else channeling you or somebody?
No. There are others that may channel beings from my society, but not me. I only come through this particular avenue.
Gotcha.
Because this avenue, to speak from a linear perspective, the channel is my past self, I'm the channel's future self. So we are, in that sense, what you would call the same soul in two different time frames.
Okay, that's all.
Does that help?
Yep.
Well, thank you.
bASHAR.
Hello, bASHAR.
And a you good day.
Bucket list item check. Bucket list, sorry.
Bucket list,
Yes.
as opposed to
I've
the
been wanting to
fuck
see
it
you
list.
for a while. Nice. All right. I wrote some stuff down.
Oh, was that too risque for some of you? Yes?
So since I can remember, I've always been terrified of aliens. Since I was
Oh,
a
I'm
little
so very
kid.
sorry that I scare the pants off
Oh,
you.
they're mostly the grays, I feel.
Oh, all right. Well, yes, we understand how when you are not brought up to recognize what's going on, nor remember the agreements that you made to participate in that agenda, how it can make you feel when you are young that you're very out of control and that they're being very malicious. It's not their intent, but the idea necessarily will reveal itself or be experienced that way when you don't really know what's going on. But that can change.
Yeah, I remember waking up in the middle of the night and going to my sister's bedroom and
Yes.
sleeping with her.
Yes.
Because I was, quote, scared of the aliens.
Yes, yes, yes. This is common.
So I
or at least
was
it used to
involved
be.
in the hybrid agenda.
Yes.
Or cool. That's really cool.
You all really love that temperature, don't you?
Yes.
It's cool.
Okay, that's great. A lot of the times when I'm walking my dog, I
Yes.
talk to you, or you're a collective.
Yes. And
And
your
I
own
want
higher
to
mind, remember, your own higher mind is always involved in the conversation.
Okay, and I want to see you, but at the same time, a split second later, I'm scared. of
Yes.
it.
But again, that's because in our presence, you already know that our vibration is so much higher than yours, it would force certain ideas within you, certain beliefs within you to the forefront of your consciousness that you may not be ready to deal with or integrate yet within you, and therefore that's what's causing the fear. It's not actually a fear of us, it's a fear of yourself in our
Agreed.
presence.
Agreed. I've heard you say that. Is there a way, a permission slip, I can get myself there?
Yes, we've already told you that, all you need to know about that. It's about finding out what your beliefs are and letting go of the ones that don't work for you. That's the process that will bring you closer to our frequency and, of course, acting on your highest passion.
Well, the belief is what I stated. When I was scared of aliens, that's the belief. So how do I get rid of that?
That's not the belief.
Okay.
That's the outer effect. The belief is you're out of control. That something is happening to you you have no control over. That's the belief. So you have to know that that's not true. You have to take your power back and understand that this is an equal agreement and that you can participate in it in a much more conscious way and that you get to have a say and you're not out of control.
Okay, you said action and knowing are synonymous.
Yes.
How can I just know? I have to convince myself?
Well, it's about understanding how things work and what's really going on. And when you have the information, you will know it like you know anything else that you've discovered in life to be true for you. Because you just have to understand what's going on. You have to be informed and get the information about what's actually happening. And then you will know what's happening, and then you will respond differently.
Okay.
So we are telling you what's happening. People who are part of the hybridization agenda on your planet have made an agreement to do so on another level. You may not remember that as a physical person, but nevertheless, you made an agreement. And you're doing it to be of assistance to them and your own world. Because the idea is that they used to be human, like you, in a parallel reality. Mm-hmm. But they destroyed their version of Earth. And they mutated themselves in order to survive, but they were still dying out because they could no longer reproduce. But they had very advanced technology at a certain point that allowed them to tunnel into parallel realities where human DNA was still viable, such as yours, and use that DNA to create hybrids, such as us, that would continue their society. They also recognized, and we also recognized, that many of you were going down the same path that destroyed their version of Earth, and therefore we're sharing this information with you so that you will not necessarily have to choose to destroy your version of Earth or experience the same path that the Greys did. So there can be a lot of empathy in what's going on here, and there can be a lot of gratitude from both directions in that you have aided and assisted them in creating the hybrid civilization that will allow their culture to continue, and that we are then sharing the information of what happened to them with you, so you don't have to walk down that path and suffer in the way that they did. So isn't it a nice mutually beneficial arrangement?
Yes.
Now you know that. Are you as scared?
I'll work on it.
No, all right.
All right.
Do you find that you are scared of us?
I tell myself I'm not because I have so much love for you
All
and your
right.
transmissions.
Yes.
But I'm faking myself telling that to myself.
All right, but you
It's
do
not true.
remember that we said that what you're actually experiencing is the fear within yourself about your beliefs. You're not actually experiencing fear of us. Do you understand this? Do you understand what we are saying? Because we operate on such a high frequency, and because there are things and beliefs within you that you haven't integrated yet that are negative, which creates a negative vibration, yes?
Yes.
A fear-based vibration. If you were exposed to us physically, our vibration would overwhelm yours and force you to raise your frequency before you have integrated those things, force you to face those things before you yourself have processed through them. So you're experiencing the rise of the fear of the negative beliefs who realize they are about to be let go of. Because one of the things that negative beliefs do to protect themselves is generate more fear, so you'll be afraid to let go of them. So if you understand that that's just a mechanism, an energetic mechanism that's happening, then you can understand that that's just a mechanism. And it's not because you're afraid of us, it's just because the negative belief is generating more fear, so you won't let it go. And once you begin to understand all this and see the big picture and how it all works, you won't necessarily be afraid anymore.
Okay, great. I know I came with the expectation that I know you, as bASHAR, share about 5% of the energy through Daryl,
Yes.
the channel.
Yes.
So I'm hoping to experience that so that maybe that can be a trigger point and eventually get to a state where I can meet you.
All right. You
your
can use
society.
whatever permission slip process you wish to that works for you. We're not going to push you. We're not going to rush you because there's no point to that. You are ready when you are ready. And the thing is, to be okay with that. The more you are okay with the idea that you might not be ready yet will actually make you ready sooner. That's the paradox.
Perfect.
Does that help?
Yes.
So relax. I'm not going to come creeping into your bedroom tonight.
That's my vision, yes.
Maybe.
I've woken up thinking you have, or something has.
Yes, I understand, but that's all right. Why don't you start to play with that, like hide and seek, peekaboo?
Yeah. I remember pulling the covers over when I was a kid, thinking
All
they
right.
can't see me.
All right.
Okay, so I have trouble with patience with my kids and wife.
Well, again, that's because you think you need patience.
I do.
You don't.
Why not?
Because if you are living what you love to do and living your excitement, you're so excited about what you're doing that you're not impatient to be anywhere else.
Well-
and if you're not impatient to do anything else, you don't need patience.
Well, I disagree because
Oh,
I have
all right.
I have passion to do something else, but yet I have to take care of my kids or do something for
Are
them,
you
so I can't do that. So
are you implying that taking care of your children is not part of your passion?
It's not. I
Why
feel
not?
as a chore. I'm sorry to say that. I
No,
feel
no, no.
it as a chore.
No. That's
and
all
I
right.
want to not
That's
feel
all
that
right.
it's a
It's
chore.
good that you are bringing this up because that's the thing you need to look at is what belief systems are creating it to be a chore. When obviously it could be part of your excitement. There could be a way in which you could be interacting with them that is actually more representative of your joy, but your definitions are getting in your way and creating the relationship to be one that feels like a chore. So this is perfect that you brought it up because that's the belief you need to find that's getting in your way and making you impatient. Because you are defining it as a chore. It's not. Doesn't have to be. You need to find a way to define it that it's not. But the first thing you need to do is find the definition that is making it feel like that.
At that point in time, because not all the time do I feel.
I'm only talking about the times when you feel that it is a
I
chore.
love my kids and I love.
I understand.
I think they got the wrong idea about that.
I understand. So all we're saying is, now that you have been honest enough to admit that there are those moments when it feels like a chore, it's your duty to yourself and your responsibility to yourself and your children to find the definition that is making it seem that way. Because when you let it go, you'll be in a completely different state. And in a completely different state, you will be able to be inspired. You will be able to receive ideas from the imagination that will allow the relationship to be a joyful one more often. Because if you're simply in the state of being where you're defining it as a chore from that belief system, you can't be inspired how to get out of that state. You have to be out of that state first. Therefore, you have to find the belief system, identify it, let it go, see what it is, see how nonsensical it is, see how it doesn't serve you. And once you have truly let it go, then you will be of a different state that will suddenly be inspired to do things that will actually allow the relationship to continue to be more joyful. It's that simple. We're describing an actual technique that is based on the principles here, the instruction manual of how reality works. That's all you need to do is follow the instruction manual. Find the negative belief that's making it feel like a chore, let it go, and then you will be inspired by things that will allow it to be more joyful. It's that simple. This is just physics.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
All right.
Side real time. Are you aware of side
What about it?
I've seen studies say your psychic ability is increased by 400% when you're aligned at that point in time. Can you either validate or expand on that?
There are certain kinds of energy flows that are connected to different kinds of time expression frames that can represent streams of consciousness moving at different rates of frequency or speed, and aligning with them can create the effect of being more expanded in consciousness that might allow you to express things like that. It isn't always necessary, but it can be representative to some degree of an underlying structure of physical reality that can be taken advantage of. Yes.
Permission slip.
Yes. Does that help?
Yes. Abundance, the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it.
Period.
I want to change that.
Change what?
The ability to do what you want to do when you want to do it.
Why would you want to change it to something less
We
efficient?
as humans need
Why would you
water,
want to
shelter.
change it to something less efficient?
I want to go on that cruise, but I don't need to. I need food,
How do you
I
know?
need water.
How do you know you don't need to? What if you need to for your spirit, for your soul, for inspiration? What if you need to because synchronicity will show you something on that cruise you won't find somewhere else? Look at what you're doing. You are defining things that might in fact actually be what you need as things that you don't need. You don't know. You have no idea, but the point is you don't need to. The idea is that if it is really relevant as a need, then the opportunity will come. You don't have to discount it before it even happens, before the opportunity even presents itself. I understand the difference between what you mean when you say, I need food, I need water, but you also need inspiration to survive.
Yes.
So let that also come when it needs to. Don't limit the definitions of what you need because you don't really know what you need. Let your reality show you what you need. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Then now cruise back to your seat.
You got it.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Bashar.
Thank you.
Shabai.